everyone, and welcome to Fab Friday. So when you look at this paper, you'll see that I've already done a lot of work on this layout already. So I have lots of hand stitching going on, and I kind of stopped at the 1, 2, 3 because I changed my mind and decided I didn't want to hand stitch that. Instead, I'm going to alter it in another way. So I'm going to start by taking some colorings in No Yoking and Keep Palm and Mama Sings the Blues, and I'm going to give it just a spritz and then some splatter. So we have you're going to have 3 big areas of color around my hand stitching. So a little bit about my hand stitching. What I did was I took a cut file from the cut shop and I drew it on my paper using my sketch pens, and then I just took a needle and punched holes through my paper every about 1/4 of an inch, but sometimes a little less or a little more. And then I went ahead and I did I just stitched, and I stitched in white. And on this video, it's going to look like it blends in a lot. It's a little hard to see the stitching on the video, but in real life, it's very prominent and it contrasts very nicely with the craft cardstock. So I just took my 3 colors of shimmers colorings and created 3 kind of swashes of color. And there is my photo all ready to go. I did go ahead and size the cut files and the stitching to accommodate where I wanted to put my photo. And while I did leave myself a little bit of room around the photo, I decided not to go ahead and mat my photo. I'm just going to add some paper strips to the one side of the photo to kind of create this band. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with some of these stitching files. So I wanted to accentuate certain parts and add certain things within my stitching. So I'm starting with this Muji pen, and I'm just drawing the stars in where they appear on the cut file. And then I'm also going to go ahead and color in. So the star below is an A+, and I'm going to go ahead and color in that A+. I'm using distress markers in Fossiled Amber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in, and then I'm going to smudge the ink with a water brush. And what that does is it's going to get rid of that like the marker look, and it's going to smooth out so you don't see the pen strokes from the marker. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some of that Fossil Emperor pen, and I'm just going to continue on here. Now it's finished, and you can see the A+ really well, and then there's some smudging around it. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in to my stitching the numbers on the ruler. I thought that the numbers were a little hard to see because of the stitching, and so I wanted to draw attention to those to the numbers there. So now the numbers with the ABC and 1, 2, 3, I'm going to replace the stitching with these chipboard letters. I just was kind of playing around with different things I could fill in there because I wanted it to be I wanted to add something, some texture, a little bit, some unexpected to the inside of those numbers instead of stitching them in. And I found that these chipboard letters, these are from Fancy Pants Life is Beautiful collection, and they worked really, really well. They kind of nestled and fit right in there very well. So I went ahead and put those over the stitching holes and the sketch pen signs. So now it's time to embellish. So this layout turned out, I love the way it turned out, but I fidgeted with it for a really, really long time. And I cut a lot of that out of this video. So to begin with, I grabbed 4 different sequin mixes from Spiegelmom Scraps shop. One of them is A Day in the Woods. One of them is Alma Mater. The other one, let me look here quick. I believe it's called Autumn Joy. I'm pretty sure, yes. And then you'll also see that I did pull out my ruby red slipper sequins, but I don't end up using them. Now I'm going to do a color on color technique. So I'm taking the yellow and green sequins from the Day in the Woods and the Alma Mater sequins, and I'm going to place those just into the spots where the splatters are, and then I'm going to edit a little bit because I didn't want it to look too crazy sequiny. Now I'm going to take some chevron cork, and I'm going to put it on either side of my A+ star. And for different embellishments from my stash, I pulled all of my Chamel Go Now Go collection, and I'm just going to use some of the 6x6 papers and some of the embellishments. This layout, I wanted to have lots of texture, lots of little bits and pieces, lots of things for you to look at. And this isn't the way that I create layouts a lot. So because of that, I ended up fidgeting a bunch. I start with these enamel dots, and I'm going to put those around. And I decided I want to pull in some of the coppery color. And so my idea of putting color on those 3 ink swatches kind of changes, because I decided I want to put some of those gold or coppery colored enamel dots up at the top. And so you'll see me here just sprinkle the enamel dots around, and now we're going to go a little crazy with the puffy stickers. I love these puffy stickers, and I could put them on every layout. Like, I could fill a layout with them. In fact, this layout I pretty much almost do, but then I added at the end, so it's okay. So you'll see that I'm gonna put puffy stickers everywhere, but I do end up taking a lot of them off. You'll see there is so much of me fidgeting in this layout. It's a little, I cut a lot of it out because this isn't a style of layout that I create often, and so I just was being very conscientious of texture and lots of little details. I'm going through the ephemera pack now, and I choose this little coppery colored tree, and I'm also going to choose the apple die cut, and it's going to move around here and there. The other thing I decided to do is there's some writing on my photo, and I decide that I'm going to take that writing and I'm going to cover it up, and I'm going to take what's written on the photo, and I'm actually just going to write it onto that label later on off camera. So I really liked that little label, and I liked it there without the apple. That's going to fidget around too. So you can see here where I've kind of exploded and put more puffy heart stickers everywhere. And now I'm going to go through with these wood buttons, and I actually ended up putting 5 of them on this layout. And they're going to move around a little bit too. I really apologize if I'm repeating myself during this voiceover. I have to shoot it in like teeny tiny little chunks, and because of the way that I'm having to voice it over, I can't do it all at once. And so it's making it difficult for me to remember from one section of the voiceover to the other what I have said or what I haven't said. So I'm trying really hard not to repeat myself, and please just forgive me if I do. I'm now going to go ahead and grab these puffy glittery stickers. This is also from the Go Now Go collection, and I'm going to use a bunch of them. I put all of the stars on, some of the stars, and I'm going to use a title. I'm going to just create, you will notice I'm creating little visual triangles. So if you look at the apples, you'll see the apples on the paper, and then it's down on the wood button, and then it's up in the die cut. And if you look at where I placed my stars, there's 3 stars that kind of create a triangle. And then when I get the rest of the wooden buttons, I'm going to put 5 on the 5 total on the page, so there'll be 2 more, and you'll see they'll kind of create like a diagonal line down through my embellishments that your eye can kind of follow with those wooden buttons. So I did pay attention to where I was putting things to create those visual triangles and to create the lines so your eye can move from one part of the layout to the other. Here's where I'm going to add the last 2 wooden buttons. And then I'm going to do some ink splatters on my layout. So I'm going to do 2 different kinds of ink splatters on my layout. Oh, wait. First, here's where I edit the hearts. I forgot about editing the hearts. So I decided that there were too many hearts on this page, and I wanted to replace some of them with stars. And I also decided there were too many puffy stickers. So I pulled off some of those and kind of edited things up. And now I'm going to just do some sprinkles. This is Vibes in Hot Fudge. This is a brand new color in the Spiegelmom Scrap shop, and it's really pretty. And so I just sprinkled it around, and then I'm going to wipe off my embellishments that got some got some ink on them that I didn't want, and I can just take those off with a baby wipe. And now I'm taking my Dilutions white linen spray, and I am just sprinkling them. So I wanted some pretty big blotches. I'm also going to use this spray to fix. So there were some spots where the Hot Fudge Vibes hit the my stitching, and it kind of just looked dirty. It didn't really look nice or like splatters. So I'm kind of using the white to cover over some of those spots that I just didn't like the way that the Hot Fudge splattered. So here we go. This will end our layout. There'll be a close-up coming up of the hand stitching, and I'm hoping to get some pictures and photos up of my layout, but we have had some really bad weather and some really dark days, so I haven't really been able to get a really good photograph of my layout yet. But I'm hoping to, and you can find those photos on my social media throughout the day today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by the Spiegelmom Scraps YouTube channel, and I will have this video up on my channel in a little bit as well. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great Fab Friday. Bye!